The scorched wasteland of Draken 7 stretched endlessly under 3 burning suns. Kevin trudged through the crimson sand, his environmental suit's cooling systems working overtime to keep him alive. The galaxy knew this planet as one of the harshest in the outer rim, a place where even the native Drakari struggled to survive. Kevin was a medic with the Terran Relief Corps, and he'd volunteered for this mission against everyone's advice. The war between the Galactic Coalition and the Drakari Empire had ended 6 months ago, but the scars remained fresh. Draken 7, once a thriving colony world, now lay in ruins after the Coalition's Scorched Earth campaign. The humans had been neutral in the conflict, arriving only after the ceasefire to provide humanitarian aid. "Command, this is Medic 7. Kevin spoke into his com. "I'm 2 kilometers from the refugee camp. No signs of hostiles." Static crackled in response. The electromagnetic storms made communication unreliable at best. He crested a dune and stopped. Below, partially buried in sand, lay a small figure. Kevin's heart lurched. Even from a distance, he could see the distinctive scaled skin and vestigial wings of a young Drakari, no more than a child by their species. Standards. Kevin slid down the dune, his boots kicking up rust-colored dust. As he approached, the child stirred weakly. Large reptilian eyes, golden like molten metal, fixed on him with a mixture of fear and desperate hope. The young Drakari scales, which should have shimmered with iridescent beauty, were dull and cracked. Its breathing came in shallow rasps. "Dehydration. Severe dehydration." "Please, sir," the child croaked in broken galactic common, its forked tongue barely able to form the words. "Just 1 sip of water." Kevin had seen that look before in the eyes of dying soldiers on a dozen worlds, in refugees who lost everything, in victims of wars they never wanted. But this was different. This was a child of a species that most humans had been taught to fear, whose empire had threatened the galaxy for decades. The Drakari were known as dragon people across human space, fearsome warriors with scales harder than most armor, capable of breathing superheated plasma. They'd carved out an empire through conquest, and Coalition propaganda had painted them as monsters. But right now, Kevin saw only a scared, dying kid. His hand moved to his canteen, his only canteen. The refugee camp was still 2 kilometers away across the burning wasteland. His suit's water recycling system had malfunctioned that morning. This was all the water he had left until he reached the camp. Standard protocol was clear: preserve resources for maximum impact. 1 child versus potentially dozens he could help at the camp. The math was simple. Kevin unscrewed the cap. "Here," he said softly, kneeling beside the young dragon. But instead of offering just a sip, he pressed the entire canteen into the child's trembling clawed hands. "Drink all of it." The child's golden eyes widened in disbelief. But you, drink," Kevin repeated. His voice gentle but firm. Actual tears welled in those alien eyes as the young Drakari lifted the canteen with shaking hands and drank. Kevin watched as color slowly returned to the dulled scales, as the breathing became less labored. When the canteen was empty, the child looked up at him with an expression that transcended species barriers, pure gratitude mixed with confusion. "Why?" the young Drakari whispered. "Humans, you hate us. We destroyed your trading stations, killed your people. Why would you?" Kevin smiled, though the child couldn't see it through his helmet's visor. "Because you're a kid, and where I come from, we have a saying. We judge people by their actions, not their father's sins." He activated his emergency beacon. His suit's medical scanners showed his own hydration levels dropping into the yellow zone, but he'd make it probably. The camp would send a retrieval team once they picked up his signal. "What's your name?" Kevin asked, helping the child sit up. "Xyrax," came the quiet reply. "Of the Ember Clan." "Well, Xyrax of the Ember Clan. I'm Kevin, and you're going to be okay." Will they help me at the camp, even though I'm Kevin thought of Jasmine, his partner at the relief station. She'd lost her brother in the war, killed during a Drakari raid on a civilian transport. Yet she was here, on Draken 7, treating Drakari refugees with the same dedication she showed to anyone else. "Yes," Kevin said with certainty. "There's another human there. She'll take good care of you. We don't abandon kids, Xyrax, human, Drakari, or otherwise." In the distance, Kevin's suit senses picked up the approaching retrieval team. Jasmine's voice crackled through the static. "Kevin, you stubborn idiot. What did you do this time?" He laughed, wincing slightly as dehydration-induced fatigue hit him. "Found someone who needed help." "Of course you did," Jasmine replied, but there was warmth in her voice. "Hang tight. We're coming for both of you." Xyrax looked up at Kevin, those golden eyes now filled with something the galaxy rarely saw between their species' trust. "My grandmother told me stories," the young Drakari said quietly, "about humans. She said they were weak, that they had no scales, no claws, no fire, that they wouldn't last a day on a world like ours." Kevin checked his suit's readouts again. His core temperature was rising. Dangerous, but manageable. "What do you think now?" Xyrax clutched the empty canteen like a treasure. I think humans are strong in a different way, a way we never understood." The retrieval vehicle crested the dune, and Kevin could see Jasmine already preparing medical equipment. In a few minutes, they'd both be safe. the young Drakari would live to see another day, to grow up in a galaxy that was slowly, painfully learning to choose peace over war. As Jasmine and her team loaded them both into the vehicle, Zyrax never let go of that empty canteen. Kevin knew the child would carry a tan this moment for the rest of his life. Sometimes humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their tactics. It was their stubborn, often foolish refusal to let the past dictate the future. Their ability to see a person, not an enemy, even when their own survival hung in the balance. That was the real meaning of HFY, not that humans were fearless or invincible, but that they chose compassion even when it cost them everything. The end.